You know what? I'm just gonna be pretty honest with us, right? I just had a very challenging day, and in this video, I'm just gonna be quite raw and quite open with my findings. I'm making this video primarily for my younger self, someone who is younger than me listening to this, but then I'm also making it for myself. I know that may sound a bit trite and selfish, but the truth of the matter is, I've come to realize that the world is mine for the capturing, right? I've come to realize that there's a version of me that is in existence, but I'm yet to assume. The version of me that is capable of doing all the good things that I intend to do with my life. The version of me that is capable of touching the lives I intend to touch with my life. The version of me that is capable of giving as much as I want to give to society. And truth be told, I'm not yet that version of myself. And the reason I said earlier that I'm having a very challenging day is because I've kind of realized the amount of work and effort it's going to take me to realize, to actualize that version, to assume that version of myself, right? Truth be told, I've come to realize that we don't all get the same cards by life, right? We don't get dealt the same cards, playing cards by life. Our cards are mostly different. Our circumstances are mostly different, and you know, there are people who will look at the cards that life has dealt them and resolve to just accepting them and not shuffling them, right? So what I'm really picturing is, let's say you dish the deck of cards, right? You have your king, your heart, and for you to get a perfect set of cards, you need to shuffle it in a certain way, right? But then when it's dished to you, it is all scattered, right? The king is somewhere, the seven of hearts, the cards are all laid out around, right? But then you have the potential the ability to arrange them to best suit your ambition, to best suit your goal, right? To best suit what you're trying to achieve. And what I've realized today is the 21st of August, and I'm making this recording. I've realized that it's not just enough to be ambitious, right? It's not just enough to have good intentions. It's not just enough to want to do good things with your life. There are many people who you can stop at random anywhere around the world, and you ask, most people will tell you they want to do good things with their lives. But the question will be, why is the majority of humans on the planet Earth not able to do good things? And the answer to that question is because they haven't assumed the version of themselves that can impute and impact such intention into the world to materialize their desires and their ambitions and their good intentions on the world, right? And the fact is, not many people eventually get to do that. That's one of the things that struck me today, right? I know a lot of people who intend to do good things, and I know if they have the ability to a large extent, they're going to do exactly what they've, communicated that they want to do. The good things they intend to do, they're going to do exactly just that. But I also know a lot of people who are at the descent of their lives right now. They are, at the evening stroke night stage of their lives, and they are not able to account for all their youthful exuberances, right? All their intentions, all the things they, thought or intended to do with their lives whilst they were younger. And the reason for that is because they they never assumed the version of themselves that could do those things. And I'm saying this because I want you to understand. I want myself to understand, and I want you to understand. Because the truth is, to some degree, some people are going to look at my life right now, and you know, it's inspiring to them. I know I'm not. I consider myself still at the very rock bottom, but then I know some people. The fact is, every position you are in life is someone's prayer point, right? So I'm very aware of that. I know some people will look at my life, some people will watch this video right now and be like, why is he so pissed? He has such a great life. I wish I had his life. But I guess we operate from different dimensions, right? Different realities. And I say that because I'm making this video, as I said, primarily for myself. And to be honest, I intended this video to be uncut, but I had a bit distractions with some people saying hi to me. Not the distraction really, but it just interrupted what I was doing. But back to what I was saying, I've come to realize that it's dicey, right? I'm young, I'm energetic, I'm ambitious, I'm good intentioned. I want to do great things. I want to help people. I want to impact the world positively. I want to live until I die. I want to do good things with my life. I want to be a net positive influence and impact on the world. I want to influence the world positively. But then I've come to the realization that just wanting to do that is not enough, right? There are prices to be paid. There are things to be done. There are plans to be proceeded upon. And I'm making this video for my younger version, for the younger version of myself, as I said earlier. In as much as I'm also speaking to myself, I'm speaking to you. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years younger version of myself. I'm 22 right now, so whatever your age, so long as you're younger, this message is for you. You need to get willing to pay the price, right? You need to get willing to pay the price. And let me just be vulnerable with us, right? Let me just be vulnerable with you. I had an interaction earlier, maybe 2 hours, less than 2 hours ago, with someone who a business deal, it just didn't turn out as I expected it to. And that was devastating to me, right? That was I've had such experiences in the past, but this one really hit me, and that's because for the past couple of weeks I've had some momentum, and it just came to shatter that momentum for me. But of course, I'm going to regroup and rebuild. If I'm going to give myself 5 years younger version of myself an advice right now, as I'm sitting here, it will be this: do as much volume of work that it will be totally unreasonable for you to fail. And I say this because, to a large extent, I've kind of underestimated the amount of work that will be required for me to do the things that I intend to do with my life. I've kind of underestimated the requirements, the prices I need to pay, the sacrifices I need to make, what I need to forego, the opportunity cost. And that will be my one single advice to you. Younger version of me, do as much work as it will be unreasonable for you to not be successful. And I know that work isn't everything, right? You want to work circumspectly, you want to work strategically. You don't want to just dissipate energy, being busy doing nothing. But that's one thing you can control, right? You can control the amount of work you put into whatever you're doing. And connecting that to my day, my very, I wouldn't really call it tragic, but it was, an uneventful day, right? Do as much work as possible. Understand that being good intention is not good enough. It's not enough. It's not all that's required. It's part of what's required. You want to be good intentioned, but then it's like you trying to cook rice, right? Let's say you're trying to make rice, and you, of course, going to need salt. You're going to need rice. You're going to need seasoning. You're going to need some vegetables, pepper, and and all those things you need, but you don't need them in the right proportion, right? If you put the same amount of salt and the same amount of rice, you're going to practically make poison, pragmatically speaking. What you're going to come up with is poison. If you put the same amount of pepper and the same amount of salt or the same amount of seasoning in measurement terms, you're going to cook rubbish, right? So, all ingredients that by now, if you've been listening to me for some time, you should know are required, but they are not all required to the same proportion. But the one thing that I'm at this point of my life quite certain of is that you can't overwork. That's just the truth, especially in your youthful days. There is no realm in which you are overworked. Because the truth is, if you're not working, then what are you doing? Playing, somebody will say. I'm not against it, playing, I try to. I struggle with it, but then I try to play myself. But the work is the highest quantity ingredient required. Let's call it the rice, right? In our analogy, that's the rice. The rice should be the highest quantity ingredient required. If you're cooking jollof rice, let's say. So that you should have in mind. The work, you're most likely not going to get it wrong, right? Of course, you can. And what I'm saying is very dangerous in a sense because I'm just hoping that you truly understand what I'm trying to communicate here. Reason being that you can as well easily get trapped with the busyness of busybodiness and you busy doing nothing. There are people who operate from that realm, but I don't want you to do that. So work very hard, be good intentioned, and move quickly because time doesn't always wait for you. Time never waits for anybody, anyhow. All right. As always, remember, believe in yourself because I believe in you, and good things do happen to good people. Peace.